Dean Corll. The name hangs in the air like the stench of death, a name that sends chills down the spines of those who remember the sweltering summer of 1973 in Houston, Texas. He was the boogeyman, the monster under the bed, the nightmare given flesh. They called him the Candyman, a cruel joke, a sickening truth. He used sweets, a symbol of childhood joy, to lure young boys to their deaths. He was a predator disguised as a friend, a wolf in sheep's clothing. His reign of terror lasted 3 long years, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and unspeakable horrors. The Candyman. Even now, over 50 years later, the name evokes a primal fear. He is a chilling reminder that darkness can lurk in the most unexpected places, wearing the most innocent of masks. His crimes, a grotesque tapestry of torture and depravity, continue to haunt the collective memory of Houston. He is a stain on the soul of the city, a chilling testament to the depths of human cruelty. Dean Corll understood the language of children. He knew their vulnerabilities, their desires. He weaponized their innocence. He would prowl the streets of Houston, a hunter stalking his prey. His eyes, cold and calculating, would scan the playgrounds, the arcades, the places where young boys gathered. He often chose areas where runaways and troubled teens congregated, sensing their desperation, their need for connection. He offered them kindness, a listening ear, a place to belong. And then he offered them candy. It was a simple, almost absurdly mundane lure. Cheap candy, trinkets, promises of parties and good times. For some, it was the allure of easy money, a chance to earn a few dollars by helping him out with odd jobs. He preyed on their naivety, their longing for acceptance. He would often befriend the boys first, gaining their trust, making them feel special. He would buy them gifts, give them money, let them hang out at his apartment. He became a surrogate father, a confidant, a friend. Then he would strike. Corll didn't act alone. He enlisted the help of teenagers, boys on the fringes of society, hungry for acceptance and warped by his influence. David Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley Jr. became his most trusted lieutenants, his accomplices in horror. They were drawn into his web of evil, seduced by promises of power and perverse pleasure. They were victims themselves, trapped in a cycle of violence and manipulation. Brooks, a troubled youth from a broken home, was the first to fall under Corll's spell. He became his recruiter, his procurer of victims. He would lure the boys, often his own friends and acquaintances, to Corll's apartment, where the real horror began. Henley, drawn in by the promise of money and a twisted sense of belonging, soon followed. He became an active participant in the torture and murder of Corll's victims, his conscience seared by the horrors he witnessed and perpetrated. The Houston Heights, a working-class neighborhood, became Corll's hunting ground. He moved from one nondescript apartment to another, each one transformed into a macabre torture chamber. One location, however, would forever be etched in the annals of criminal history: 2010 Lamar Drive. The apartment, rented by Corll, became the epicenter of his reign of terror. It was here that he, along with Brooks and Henley, committed the most heinous acts of their depraved spree. The apartment, a place where laughter and youthful energy should have filled the air, became a tomb. The walls, once adorned with childish drawings and posters, became stained with the blood of innocent victims. The air, thick with the scent of decay and death, whispered tales of unimaginable suffering. The floorboards creaked under the weight of unspeakable horrors, a constant reminder of the evil that had taken root within those walls. Section 528. Empty chairs. The staggering toll of a monster. The full extent of Dean Corll's crimes is a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity. 28 young boys, their lives cut tragically short, became victims of his insatiable bloodlust. Each victim, a son, a brother, a friend, represents a life extinguished, a future stolen. Their faces, forever frozen in time in faded photographs, stare back at us, a haunting reminder of the fragility of innocence. They were students, dreamers, athletes, artists. They were sons and brothers, friends and classmates, each one a unique and irreplaceable thread in the tapestry of life, brutally torn away. Their absence left a gaping hole in the hearts of their families and the soul of the community. 28 empty chairs at dinner tables, 28 graduation ceremonies with a void that could never be filled, 28 lives extinguished, leaving behind an abyss of grief and unanswered questions. Section 6. A gruesome gallery unveiling the Chamber of Horrors. The details of Corll's crimes revealed in the aftermath of his death are not for the faint of heart. They paint a horrifying picture of sadism and barbarity. The apartment on Lamar Drive became a macabre gallery of horror, a testament to the depths of human cruelty. Inside, investigators discovered a scene that defied comprehension. A plywood torture board, stained with blood and bodily fluids, lay discarded in a corner. Restraints designed to hold the boys captive were bolted to the floor. A toolbox, filled with an assortment of instruments of torture, pliers, whips, electrical cords, stood as a chilling testament to the suffering inflicted upon the victims. The air itself seemed thick with the stench of death, a suffocating reminder of the horrors that had unfolded within those walls. Section 7. The night the screams were silenced. The reign of terror finally came to an end on August 8, 1973. Ironically, it was one of Corll's own accomplices, Elmer Wayne Henley Jr., who ended his life in a fit of rage and despair. After a night of drinking and drug use, a confrontation erupted, culminating in Henley shooting Corll. The details of that night remain shrouded in conflicting accounts, a chaotic blend of fear, anger and desperation. Henley, perhaps sensing a glimmer of humanity resurfacing within his tormented soul, contacted the police. He led them to the charnel house on Lamar Drive, unveiling the full horror of Corll's crimes. The discovery sent shockwaves through Houston and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on the national psyche. Section 8. Echoes of Terror. The unfading scars on Houston. The impact of Corll's crimes on the Houston community was profound and far-reaching. The city, once a symbol of hope and opportunity, found itself grappling with the realization that a monster had walked among them, preying on their children. The case shattered the illusion of safety, leaving behind a lingering sense of fear and vulnerability. Parents held their children a little tighter. Playgrounds, once filled with the sounds of laughter, seemed eerily quiet. The case sparked outrage and demands for justice, leading to changes in law enforcement procedures and a renewed focus on child safety. But the scars, both visible and invisible, remained. Section 9. Remembering the Lost. A legacy marred by darkness. The legacy of Dean Corll is one of profound loss and enduring pain. The families of the victims, forever haunted by the brutal and senseless deaths of their loved ones, continue to grapple with their grief. Their strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable tragedy is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The case serves as a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of innocence and the importance of vigilance. It compels us to confront the darkness that can lurk within seemingly ordinary individuals and to remain vigilant in our efforts to protect the most vulnerable among us. The victims of Dean Corll, though gone, will never be forgotten. Their memory lives on, a poignant reminder of the enduring power of hope and the importance of cherishing every precious moment of life.